Hey, what's going on, guys? So just like my Legion video, I wanted to give you guys a really good guide on Monarch, how to best utilize her on the battlefield, kind of let you guys know what her pros and cons are, and kind of know where to place her at on the battlefield, just because I know Monarch is a great support and a great DPS Titan in Frontier Defense that I don't think a whole lot of people know about. So let's kind of get into, the different ways to use her, get into the upgrades that she uses, and get into the ways to best utilize her abilities the most. To start this off, I'm going to talk about Monarch Strengths, and she has a lot of them. It's actually kind of surprising of how many strengths she really has. So first off, I'm going to talk about the XO16. This gun has been amazing. The fact that it actually got a upgrade of ammunition and how many bullets it actually carries has been a great help to her. She's able to deal out a lot more damage, a lot more consistent now that she has a little bit more ammo in her magazine. And the fact that, she's able to increase that with arc rounds, it just makes it a whole lot better. You're increasing it from 40 to 50 rounds with arc rounds, and you're also getting those arc round capabilities to knock down different shields, knock down, flame shield and Ion's reflective shield. And it just makes it a lot better. She's definitely a great support Titan, being able to hit people from very far away with the XO16. And the fact, too, that later on in the upgrades, you get a zoom capability for this gun and increased to crit hits later on in the upgrades just makes this gun amazing. And the fact of how much damage she can deal out on any given basis with this gun. And then also, too, added on to that, the Accelerator in her third perk, in her third core, the fact that she's able to put down 50 rounds really quickly on any given target and then reload and then do it again makes the XO16 a very good, very strong weapon for her and a very good gun for Monarch. So I definitely recommend anybody that's using Monarch use that XO16 to the greatest capacity that it has. It's a long-range weapon, but it's also a short-range weapon. She does great in close-quarter battles, but really the XO16 really shines with long-range to medium-range targeting. So definitely recommend if you can try to get like a high post, kind of like in forward operating base, to kind of post up a little bit over the battlefield with that XO16, you guys are going to do fantastic. Now let's talk about literally the only Titan in this game that can refresh her own shields. The fact that Energy Cypher gives you that extra shield, gives you, refresh on your shields is amazing. And the fact that you are able to stay in the battlefield because you're able to build up your shields and not take any damage towards your actual Titan health is awesome. And just, it's amazing to be able to stay alive for so long. I think it's funny that Monarch players, even in multiplayer into Frontier Defense, are the longest living Titans in the game because of Energy Cypher, and then also too because of Energy Thief, being able to steal somebody's battery through an execution. And I definitely recommend that. People that are playing Monarch, if you're wanting to stay alive, use that Energy Cypher and use that Energy Thief, being able to steal people's batteries, build up on your health, or even build towards your cores is definitely a great plus. So not only do I recommend using that Energy Cypher a lot and be kind of progressive with it, being able to use it a lot more often, but I definitely recommend too using as your Monarch kit, using that Energy Thief, being able to use that really just being able to use it a lot and being able to build up your health and your core. I recommend for anybody. The only thing I would say is when you're using Energy Thief, definitely take in your surroundings, because sometimes Monarch does not do so well in CQB type actions. So definitely I recommend my next ability that's actually I'm about to talk about, which is Maelstrom. Now, Maelstrom and Energy Thief actually worked pretty well with each other. Especially if you're a Monarch that loves to push up and loves to be in those really great fights with Titans up close. The one thing I would recommend is that when you guys are going into these kind of close quarter battles, definitely pick choke points to do it. That way, you're able to increase how many Titans you're actually getting with Maelstrom. Since Maelstrom does increase damage to all Titans that are actually in the smoke, it actually helps you out quite a bit when you have a lot more Titans involved in it, and you're able to take down a lot more people with it. So I recommend, if you're using Maelstrom and you're using Energy Thief, definitely use them in tangent with each other. But I would say is when you're using Maelstrom and you're trying to get more damage on targets that are in your smoke, watch out for Doom Titan indications, because once you get that Doom Titan indication, you can go ahead and do your execution and get that extra battery, get that extra health from that Titan. Another thing that is great about Monarch's smoke is the fact that later on in her upgrades, literally the first upgrade she gets is she gets shields through her smoke. And that's awesome too. Again, you not only do you have Energy Cipher, not only do you have Energy Thief building up your shields, but you also have your smoke in your first upgrade. So again, being able to maintain that health with Monarch is a key thing, and being able to keep her alive and build up to your final core ability, whether that be the Accelerator, or would that be, you know, maxed out health. But the other great thing about smoke is the fact that later on in your upgrades with Monarch, you can actually heal other people's shields. You know, other Titans that walk into your smoke can actually get their shields rebuilt. So again, another great support that Monarch has. She can do DPS, but she can also support with that smoke. So that's why I always recommend people running her as a DPS Titan, because that smoke that you get later on your upgrades can be a great help and a great support to all your teammates that are around you. Now let's talk about the cons. I know with Monarch she is I would consider her a medium to long range Titan, but with some types of CQB capability. She's able to do close quarter battles pretty effectively if she has some Maelstrom, she has some electric smoke to kind of back her up with, giving her shield and giving her extra damage that she's kind of surrounded by these Titans and being able to take them down pretty quickly. That's pretty much the only capacity I would use Monarch in a close quarters battle type of scenario. I would definitely leave her as a Titan that can snipe from pretty far away, medium range to long range, being able to do that extra damage so other Titans can kind of clean up the fight. The next con is a thing that it's really hard to get back from, and that is losing health as Monarch. Monarch, again, is a great player to, you know, give herself shields, give other players shields, but once she starts getting into, you know, either Doom State or getting close to Doom State and trying to get her health back with Energy Thief is a very difficult thing to do. I always try to recommend people to stay back, stay in the medium to long range on the battlefield, because when you get into close encounters with Ronin, you get in close encounters with Scorch, and you don't have Maelstrom, and you don't have, you know, a great area to fight in, and losing a lot of health is definitely going to suck, because now you have to either lose your Titan, which goes into, you know, making it more difficult for yourself to build up back to your final phase, your final core for Monarch, which is another difficult thing, because you're going to have to get a lot more kills or try to steal batteries. But also too, when you lose health, you have to get in those executions. You have to get in there and steal batteries, and again, it's a very difficult thing to do. So I always recommend people that are playing Monarch, you know, instead of trying to fight an uphill battle, trying to gain, you know, more health or trying to gain your core, definitely, you know, have her sit back from a medium long range, so you never have to worry about losing health. You know, the AI is going to have a very difficult time shooting you when you're kind of sitting back behind cover and you're sniping them with that XO16. So definitely recommendation is sit back, medium to long range. Try to limit those close counters to just a minimum, unless you have Maelstrom and you have a great place to fight them, a very tight corridored area where you can take on a lot of people with your Maelstrom and get a lot of damage. I definitely recommend staying away from that and staying in that medium to long range with Monarch. So before I let you guys go, I want to talk about the loadout that I use for Monarch that best suits me and best helps me out in Frontier Defense, as well as the different upgrades as you're making your progress through Frontier Defense. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the kit. I know I've been talking about it a lot in this guide. I just want to say again, using Monarch's Energy Thief is a tremendous help to use. It's going to help your shield, it's going to help your health, it's going to help getting your overcore, and it's just an amazing ability to have. It does so many things all at once when you're able to get into execution. Now the only risk is being able to get in there and get an execution. Sometimes it might be an uphill battle depending on how many people you're fighting, or maybe your Titan you're trying to execute might be stubborn and might be giving you kind of a fight. So I definitely recommend, take caution, but it's a great payoff if you're actually able to get through with it. The next thing is arc rounds. Arc rounds do an amazing thing because they increase your ammo capacity from 40 to 50, as well as increasing damage that you deal out. The fact that you're able to, bring some shields down, and the fact too that, like thermal shield that Scorch has, you're able to bring that down a lot faster with arc rounds, and it actually helps you out as well as your teammates out, because they might be shooting at Scorch and not being able to get through his shield, but you come over and shoot him and it takes his shield down right away. Helps out both teammates quite a bit. So definitely arc rounds are a great thing to run. Next is Maelstrom. Maelstrom is a great thing to run just for the fact that it deals out increased damage when you pop your smoke. Again, I would definitely use this in tight corridors when you're kind of surrounded. That way you're able to take out as many people as possible, and use this in tangent with Energy Thief. Once somebody gets doomed in the smoke, be able to execute them, get their battery, and get out. It's a great thing to use also too as a thing to build up your shield, or later on building up your teammates' shields. For her last core ability, I definitely recommend Accelerator. This is going to get your DPS really high and being able to take down targets a lot faster. The fact that it increases her firing rate, kind of like the Devotion, the longer you hold down the trigger, the faster it fires, is a great thing to use. You're going to see a lot more Titans going down, a lot more Reapers going down, I can tell you that. But it's definitely a great thing to have, being able to support your teammates by dealing out a lot of damage in a short amount of time. Now finally we go to her upgrades, and her upgrades are a tremendous help to her kind of staying alive, as well as her teammates kind of staying alive, and she's also going to be able to get some upgrades that increase her DPS capability. For her first upgrade, the smoke that she pops anytime she has smoke is going to give shields to only herself. It's a great thing to have, again, when you're making those close encounters with other Titans and trying to steal batteries and using Maelstrom. Again, it's a great thing to have that extra boost to shield once you're actually in your smoke. Next thing is an increased zoom to your XO16. Again, like I said, mid-range to long-range capability with Monarch is a great way to play her. And the fact that you actually get an increase to your zoom later on in her upgrades is a great thing, because it tightens up the crosshair pattern. It lets you kind of see out a little bit more, and you're able to engage targets from pretty far away. It's a great thing to have on this Titan. For her next upgrade, she can give smoke to herself as well as to teammates. So any teammates that are involved in her smoke that need that extra shield, that are kind of helping her out with Titans that are coming down corridors and she's trying to lock down, she can use this smoke to give shields to herself, give shield to her teammates, as well as damage the AI opponents that she's fighting against. Next thing is that she gets a crit hit bonus to her XO16, so she does additional damage to crit hits on Titans. This is actually a really easy thing to do. You'll actually see yourself hitting crit shots pretty frequently because of that increased zoom and where you're kind of engaging some of these Titans. You kind of have a little bit of breathing room if you're engaging them from pretty far away. So this is a great thing to have. It's going to increase how much damage you deal out as Monarch. And Ted came down because he got scared of a dream. Are you okay? Now for her last upgrade, she gets one tier core upgrade. Now what does this mean? Now what this means is when she drops in, you're actually able to utilize her. She's going to have one of her tier 1 upgrades already. So you might have selected arc rounds when you load it in. So the possibility of having, increased missile racks and having that increased, damage. Again, increasing the capabilities of how much damage she can deal out, or being able to use, energy transfer, being able to shoot that energy and give other people shields is, again, not only you're doing a lot of DPS, but also you're able to support your other Titans, your other teammates. So again, it's a great thing to have as your final upgrade. You're going to be more deadly and a better Titan on the battlefield, being able to be that supportive role for everyone. Well guys, I hope you really enjoyed this guide. I hope it's very helpful for you. It's my main goal right now to just try to help everybody I possibly can in Frontier Defense. I know it's kind of a difficult thing to do, to try to get into those higher difficulties, and maybe if you don't know how your Titan operates, or maybe you're trying out different Titans and you don't know how they work, I'm hoping trying to give enlightenment on how to best utilize different Titans, and maybe you don't know the capabilities of it and how what its role is in Frontier Defense. So I really do hope this guide was helpful. Please let me know down in the comments below if it was, and if there's anything you would like to add, or maybe I missed something. Please let me know in the comments below. I really appreciate it. I read everything. Maybe I'm not able to comment on everything, but I do read everything. So please let me know in the comments. If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new to the channel. I want to say thank you again for all the support that you guys are giving me. Hope you have a great rest of the day, and I will see you guys next time.